Let me take you back. It's the 8th grade. Kids are still bumping Raiden Solo by Jason Derulo. Transformers 3 had just come out, and E3 still exists. COD Modern Warfare 3 was about to drop, and I was having fun with Bad Company 2, even Medal of Honor. I'll be honest, I didn't see a single marketing trailer for this game when it came out. All I knew, it was from the same people that made Medal of Honor 2010's multiplayer. Little did I know what I was about to experience. Once this game came out, this was the ultimate warfare experience I was looking for. This game, that parachuting off of Damavand Peak to this day, is one of the coolest things in a multiplayer match of all time. Oh, if only I could go back and play it with full lobbies. In 2025, it's unfortunately hard to find a match, but from what I can remember from my memory, from the little bits I did play, everything is still there. Unfortunately though, we're actually going to be talking about the single player experience, and unfortunately it's not as good as what other games have to offer. The Battlefield games have a weird problem, and it's a universal one, and it's making a good single player experience. That to rival of the blockbuster franchise Call of Duty. Which is unfortunate because everything is there. They have everything down. They have good voice acting, they have good soundtracks, they have really good on-rail sequences. Obviously the graphics are there, but you know what's not there, and that's writing. Which is bizarre because in my opinion, Bad Company and Bad Company 2 are probably the closest the franchise ever was to getting a really good story with really good characters. Battlefield Hardline video coming later. And if I had to use one word to describe this campaign, disappointing. The single player side of the game is severely lacking in any sort of character development or an engaging story. And I'm judging it harshly because the game, it's so fun and it's so good, and they hired actors and they hired writers to write this, and it's unfortunately just so lackluster. It's honestly lame. Let's break it down. Well, right out the gate, the thing I don't like is they do the Black Ops approach of having the main character be interrogated and them going back in time to kind of unravel the story as he tells it, but oh man. It's like ordering the Black Ops campaign from Temu or Wish. The game opens up at the final mission, the finale of the game, and there's clearly a bit of Mirror's Edge inspiration here, and the actual scene itself is very neat to play inside of. The train cars, the actual jumping on the train, the shootout, it's neat. And the scene ends where we meet the main antagonist of the series face to face. Then we get launched back in time to a few hours before. And again, there lies my first issue with the story. There's like 3 fucking timelines going on here. I've never been the biggest fan of when a character chooses to narrate what happened to them. The tension on if someone's going to make it or not seems a bit worthless, and some of the missions during the campaign don't seem like something that's the character would say if he was being interrogated. I think immediately the first change I would have done is just let the story play out in real time. So anyways, we are introduced to some nice copyright music, and then we get introed to our squad. Shit, I think this one's Montez. I'm Blackburn. I think this is Campo, and I only know that because there was a school in my district with that name. Anyways, we're looking for a missing fire team in a marketplace, and the first mission is pretty fun. And immediately the game's real prowess comes out, and again, that's how beautiful this game is. This game is 10 plus years old. We're going on, I think, 14 years, and the graphics are freaking insane. The lighting is so crisp, and the rays are beautiful as hell. And the sound design when the first firefight breaks out, oh, it's peak. Our squad gets pinned down by a sniper, and eventually we bring down the building around him, and a pretty exciting battle breaks out, and then an earthquake completely levels the city in a beautiful display of destruction. Whoa! We get a scene that PETA really didn't like back in the day, and then we escape the city. And again, all this stuff is alright. You've seen it in first-person shooters before. But again, I'm kind of along for the ride at this point. We escape the city, and then we find out a bad man, Farouk al-Bashir, has taken over the city of Iran. Anyway, we shift our focus to a pilot. Nope, never mind, we get another really bad interrogation scene. That slows the scene down, and you can tell I really don't like these. I actually had to re-record this part because I got a little detail wrong. Jen Colby Hawkins, in the mission Going Hunting, is a weapons system officer, not a pilot. My bad, y'all. Anyways, what I really wanted to say here was I enjoyed the more grounded, realistic side that the game chose to portray when it comes to operating an aircraft or getting into dogfights in the modern era, in which you have a pilot who flies it, and then you have a WSO, a weapons system officer that controls all the weapons. And having a more, I guess, grounded take on a plane sequence in a game like Battlefield is unique. So again, I should stop and take a second to say, the first half of the game, despite the really crappy interrogation scenes, is pretty solid. The presentation of the game is really well done. You're kind of just a guy, you're just a Marine, and the invasion of Iran, how is this story so relevant, is portrayed really well. I love the use of the tanks going into the city. The scene when you have your squad at the outskirts of town and you set up the mortars and you push into the town is really cool. Again, it's all visually appealing stuff. We get to the bank and boom, we find missing nukes. Not good. And then we fast forward back in time to the Russian POV, which, okay, we're doing some cool stuff here. This is one of my favorite missions. I like the really Mirror's Edge inspired office buildings, and I love this time now with the Frostbite engine how we can shoot everything. The walls come apart, you can use a shotgun to blast holes in the drywall, the pillars fall apart. It's kind of a fun mission. Unfortunately, we fail this mission.
Surprise me! Hey, believe me, that story gets better when I tell it.
The nuke goes off and Paris is in ruins. We end up fighting Farouk al-Bashir, and we actually, unfortunately, start a war with Russia in a really fun couple of missions. I think the game kind of reaches a high again here when you have this big battle in this big open field. It's pretty cool. And then we get to the whole reason why Blackburn is getting interrogated. He ends up shooting his commanding officer because Dima revealed to him that Solomon is trying to goad the two nations into an open war. Eventually, our character breaks out. We replay the whole train sequence again. We get to Times Square. There's a 10-second car chase. We do a quick time event to kill Solomon. We disarm the bomb and save New York. And the game just ends. I don't know what to say to that. To me, it feels like a really bad Tom Clancy novel. Like, this could have been the plotline to one of those Jack Ryan movies. And it's just, the game's called Battlefield. It was really its best when it was trying to be Battlefield. And again, it's sad because the game has tons of fun sequences, and I can see where a fun and engaging story could have been, but there's no character development, no sense of direction. In any good kind of political spy espionage thriller, there's kind of a lot of misdirection and a lot of mystery. There's none of that here. The only bit we get is when this douchey CIA guy says, no, Solomon isn't the bad guy. He's our guy.
Is one of ours. He is an overseas asset, and he has been for years. We put him next to al-Bashir for information.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
There's no weight to anything, and I feel like Solomon hasn't done anything I care about because he kind of just pops up, and then he does like this one evil thing, and then he disappears. The game's single player is unfortunately very lacking. That being said, it's not unplayable. It is really fun and it has some fun sequences, but overall, it's not as good as it could have been. So, let's talk about kind of what I would do if I were writing this story and the little things I think I would change. The interrogation stuff, scrap it for now. First 3/4 of the game, any cutscenes need to be the squad interacting with each other so we can get to know them and remember the names. Who is who? What are they into? What is their backstory so I can get invested into them? Honestly, that then and there, keep everything else the same, make the story real time. I think you have a much better game. And then maybe have this Solomon guy or this plot come into play when they get into the bank and find the missing nukes. Because up until then, you're fighting a normal war and then, ooh, you stumbled upon something kind of scary. That's when the CIA stuff comes into play. Maybe they get pulled out of active duty and start getting questioned as to what they saw. And then for the ending of the game, they get to Kafarov's house. They come under fire and Dima's squad is there to save them. That could lead to the, oh, are they bad guys? Are they good guys? Who's telling the truth? Then you can have the CIA arrest all of them at once, hold them in the city, then they can be interrogated, they can put the pieces together, and then, in a twist, Solomon hires assassins to take out everybody, and he attacks the CIA safe house. Everybody escapes altogether, and they get into a giant chase / giant shootout. Maybe not a stupid 10-second car chase and a QuickTime event. Maybe an actual giant car chase and then a giant shootout in Times Square. Then you save New York, and then you kill Solomon. What this does is it's going to allow us to connect with the squad and even Dima's squad, and it's going to, you'll have the theme of the two opposing countries kind of working together to stop a major central threat. And you can still have Dima being extradited to a country, which we find him again in Battlefield 4, and I think this is also just going to help tighten up the story. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I know I rambled on a lot, but this is something that I always thought about. You know, when I was young, when I was in middle school and I played the campaign, didn't like it, and even much older, yes, there are things I now appreciate more, but the campaign is still so lackluster, and such a dead, empty shell when you compare it to the Modern Warfare, even the Black Ops franchise, which came out alongside it. It offers some decent fun, don't expect anything good. It's so mid, it's insane. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. Please let me know down in the comments section what your opinion is on Battlefield 3 single player. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.
I got eyes on infantry, advancing on our position.
This is not a trial. You are guilty. I know how your fucking story ends.